Hello children, welcome to 8th social class. Children, in the last class we have learnt about Mauryan history, Guptas, then the Vardhanas. Now today let's go to learn about Shatavahanas. You may heard the name of a Shatavahana, especially the person called Gautamiputra Shatakarni, the famous ruler of a Shatavahana. And let's learn that how they had came into existence or how they started their own dynasty. So Shatavahanas ruled from river Godavari to Krishna. The extension of a Shatavahana dynasty we may call from Godavari to river Krishna. Later on, who are they? These Shatavahanas are. The Shatavahanas are tributaries of a Chandragupta Maurya. As I told, the expansion of a Chandragupta Maurya was very vast. So as he expanded his territory up to a Godavari, there he appointed the officer to collect the revenue from that areas. So after the decline of a Mauryan empire, these tributaries are declared themselves as a independent and they established their own kingdom, and in that one was Shimukha. He became independent ruler and he became a ruler or the first ruler, or we may call it as a founder of a Shatavahana dynasty. I'll repeat that. The Shatavahanas are the tributaries under Chandragupta Maurya, and in that one among was Shimukha. He declared himself as a independent ruler and established the dynasty called Shatavahana dynasty. And later on, after Shimukha, later on it was Gautamiputra Shatakarni. You may heard the name Gautamiputra Shatakarni. He was famous ruler of a Shatavahanas. So why he has become a famous? So in that we can see that the Shakas are the bitter enemies of a Shatavahanas. They were defeated by the Gautamiputra Shatakarni. Is it clear, children? They were the bitter enemies. Bitter enemies in the sense, from the beginning of the establishment of the Shatavahanas, these Shakas were keep on troubling the Shatavahanas. So when Gautamiputra Shatakarni was come to rule, when he came to rule, he first defeated the Shakas and made Shatavahanas free from the tension, so that by defeating the Shakas he established new era. That era was called Shaka era. You may heard Shaka era. So Shalivahana Shaka, you may heard, right? That is because of the victory when he defeated the Shakas, and from that time onwards he started new era, and that era was called as a Shalivahana Shaka, or Shaka era was started by Gautamiputra Shatakarni. And later on he expanded territory over Konkan, Berar, then Saurashtra and Malwas are the expansion of a Gautamiputra Shatakarni. From there, in that particular place also he expanded his territory. Later on Yagnashri Shatakarni, it was considered as the last ruler of a Shatavahanas. Is it clear, children? That was Yagnashri Shatakarni was considered as a last ruler of a Shatavahanas. So here we learned that how the Shakas came into establishment by the help of by the person called Shimukha. Later on it was famous ruler Gautamiputra Shatakarni. Then the last ruler was Yagnashri Shatakarni. That was up to your syllabus, okay? And in your they had given the title of a Gautamiputra Shatakarni as Trisamudra Toya Pitavahana. That was the title earned by the Gautamiputra Shatakarni. The title earned by Gautamiputra Shatakarni. It will come for 1 mark question, children, okay? Then how the administration of a Shatavahanas. The Shatavahanas divided kingdom into provinces, and that provinces was called as a Janapada. Is it clear? For the purpose of administration or easier administration, they divided provinces into different part, and that part was called as a provincial part was called as a Janapada. And as we know, there the king was a head of a province and the minister used to guide the king in the matter of administration. And we may also see that in Shatavahanas there was an existence of a Varna system. In the Varna system in the sense you know that Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and the Shudra, these are the Varna system that existed even in the Shatavahana period. Is it clear, children? Then later on we can see that the women had highest power, or the thoughts or the decision of a woman were given importance in the time of a Shatavahanas. Such progress we have not seen in any of the dynasty, whereas here in the Shatavahanas we can see that the women enjoyed the power of a decision. Later on, other occupation like carpentry, weavery, then the pottery work or agricultural work also observed in a Shatavahanas time. Not only that, they are the follower of a Vedic tradition, and they also given encouragement for Buddhism as well as the Jainism. They are the follower of a Vedic religion. Along with the Vedic religion, they were the follower of a Buddhism and Jainism. The Prakrit language, children, we can see developed or flourished in the time of a Shatavahanas. Especially during while learning sources, literary sources, you may heard the name Hala's Gata Shabdasati, that was written by Hala. Work of a Hala is Gata Shabdasati, that we can found in the time of a Shatavahanas, and that was in a Prakrit language. And when you comes to art and architecture, Amaravati painting, Ajanta, the sculpture of Ajanta as well as the Amaravati painting, that we can say as a contribution of a Shatavahanas. Okay, children. Then a Chaityalaya was built in Karle by the Banavasi merchant called Bhutapala. Is it clear? The Chaityalaya at Karle, it was built by Bhutapala. Chaityalaya in the sense a big hall which was constructed by merchant of Banavasi. When he comes to Shatavahanas dynasty, he was impressed by the art and architecture. With the help of that, he constructed Chaityalaya in Karle, and he was a Banavasi merchant. Is it clear, children? That is up to a Shatavahanas. So what will we learn in Shatavahanas? In Shatavahanas, we learn the founder of a Shatavahanas, Shrimukha, and he made Srikalukulam as a capital. Then Gautamiputra Shatakarni, he defeated the bitter enemy of a Shakas and started Shalimahana Shaka. Then later on, the last ruler of the Shatavahana dynasty, that was Yagnashri Shatakarni. Then we can see the social life of the Shatavahanas. Along with that, we have seen the literature, how the Prakrit literature has flourished during the time of a Shatavahana. As an example, that Hala Gata Shabdasati we have received. Then Amaravati painting, Chaityalaya, then Ajanta sculpture are found as an example of a Shatavahana. So this is up to a Shatavahana dynasty. Very easy and simple to remember. So when you read a textbook, all this point you have to underline and keep, so that it will very easy to recall. Okay. Now let's move on to Kadamba dynasty. Who were these Kadambas? Kadamba name you may heard. It is not a film name, children. Kadambas are the first ruler of a Karnataka. Is it clear? Kadambas are the first ruler of a Karnataka. They had given memorable achievement or the memorable mark in the history of a Karnataka. If we remember Karnataka as a powerful dynasty, it is just because of the Kadambas who has given a foundation for the history of a Karnataka. Okay. In that the Kadambas were made Banavasi as their capital. Banavasi name also you may heard in Kannada language. Okay, while reading the literature, Banavasi comes first. Okay, so Kadambas are the first ruler of a Karnataka, and they made Banavasi as their kingdom. And Who established the Kadamba dynasty? That was Maurya Sharma. So the history of a Maurya Sharma was very, very important. Is it clear? Maurya Sharma established Kadamba dynasty. Okay, you may ask what made him to establish the dynasty. He was not a tributary of any of the kingdom. He was a Maurya Sharma. Maurya Sharma, he was a Brahmin. Okay, when he was a Brahmin, he was insulted by Pallava ruler Shivaskanda Varma. Is it clear? Maurya Sharma was insulted by Pallava ruler of Tamil Nadu. They comes in Tamil Nadu region. So when Maurya Sharma was when Maurya Sharma was insulted by Pallava ruler Shivaskanda Varma. Is it clear, children? Shivaskanda Varma insulted Maurya Sharma. So to take a revenge of that insult, Maurya Sharma will convert himself from Brahmin to Kshatriya. Is it clear? To take a revenge on Shivaskanda Varma, from Sharma to he will become a Varma. Varma is a Kshatriya caste, whereas Sharma comes Brahmin. So he was first Mayura Sharma. To take a revenge on Shivaskanda Varma, he has become Mayura Varma and he has followed Kshatriya religion and he defeated Shivaskanda Varma, and by defeating Shivaskanda Varma of a Pallava ruler, he has become independent ruler of a Kadamba dynasty. Okay. Then nothing more about to learn they had given in your syllabus. They had just mentioned how the Kadamba dynasty has came into existence and who established the dynasty. Later on they had given that the Kadambas are great follower of a culture, religion, and the people of that religion we can see they were the many priests and minister are existing, and the priest and the temple used to get royalty from the king. Royalty in the sense the king used to grant certain amount to a temple so that the temple work can be done in good manner. Such kind of the benefit the temple used to get during the time of a Kadambas, and provincial officer had been appointed to look after the province. Like other kingdom, the entire kingdom was divided into province, and that provincial officer were appointed to look after the provincial administration. Even in the Kadamba dynasty, children, we can observe Varna system. Not only a Varna system, in Kadamba society, there is a patriarchal family. What do you mean by patriarchal family? Patriarchal family is where father is the head of a family. Is it clear? Father is the head of a family and the father property goes to son only, not to daughter. Okay, that is a patriarchal family, whereas matriarchal family in the sense the mother property goes to daughter, not to a son. That is a matriarchal family. So here patriarchal family in the sense, as we can see nowadays, the son is a successor of a father, where the father is the head of a family. That is a patriarchal family, and we can see undivided family. Undivided family in the sense joint family we can see in a Kadamba dynasty. Then even in Kadamba dynasty we can see the existence of a Jainism and Buddhism. It means that they even given encouragement for Jainism as well as a Buddhism. Then Banavasi, mainly the Ajanta and Banavasi is the main center of a Buddhism or the Buddhist religion. Then they have made the Buddhism as their main religion in Banavasi. Okay, Buddhism is the main religion that we can see in the later part of a Kadamba dynasty. So they made the Banavasi as a main center of a Buddhism. Okay, then when it comes to a literature, the first Prakrit and Sanskrit language were encouraged by Kadambas. Is it clear, children? Prakrit and Sanskrit language were encouraged by Kadambas. Then Halmidi inscription is the first inscription that found in Karnataka, or which is available in Kannada. Halmidi inscription is in Kannada, and that's the first inscription which found in Karnataka. Halmidi inscription, you should not forget, that is a common knowledge when you refer as a inscription. Halmidi is the first inscription that found in Kannada, that too in Kannada language. Okay, that is up to a Kadamba dynasty. Okay, then very easy children, this is all like small story, you can remember very easy, and you can even recall it. Then Gangas, the last dynasty in this chapter is Gangas. Gangas name you may heard, the Gomateshwara temple in Shravanabelagala, Bahubali, Chaundaraya constructed that Bahubali statue in Shravanabelagala. That was during the time of a Ganga period. Okay, so who was the founder of a Ganga dynasty? That was none other than Dadiga. Okay, Dadiga was the first ruler who established Ganga dynasty in Gangavadi. Clear? Dadiga is the founder of a Ganga dynasty, and he established his kingdom as Gangavadi region. Later on, Durvinita comes to rule. After Dadiga, Durvinita comes to rule. Durvinita is the person who expanded the Ganga region up to vast region. So they are the warrior. They are the born warrior. We can call it. They see in Mayura Sharma, he is the first Brahmin. Later on, he converted his caste to Kshatriya region. Whereas Gangas are the person, they are born as a warrior. They are the belongs to Kshatriya region. As a proof of that Nalhala copper inscription revealed the construction of the achievement of a Ganga's ruler. Okay, so is it clear children? These Gangas are born as a warrior. They are the warrior, and they have made lot of developmental work in matter of administration, especially in the field of social as well as the economic progress that we can see in Ganga dynasty. As a proof of that, Nalhala copper inscription. Okay, Nalhala copper inscription which reveal the detail that these Ganga ruler has constructed many lakes or the dam for the purpose of irrigation. It shows that how they had given encouragement for the agriculture. Then not only that, here we can see that Durvinita was lower as he was a brave ruler. Children, Durvinita was a brave ruler. Along with that, he was a great poet too. He was a great poet because he has translated Prakrit work of Vaddakatha of Gudiyana into Sanskrit. Very important. That was the Prakrit work of Gudiyana, which was translated to Sanskrit by Durvinita. The name of the work is Vaddakatha of Gudiyana. Vaddakatha of Gudiyana. Gudiyana is a person who has written the Vaddakatha that was translated by Durvinita into a Sanskrit language. Okay, and what are the contribution of a Gangas? These Gangas are they have systematically constructed the village as a provinces, and they were rendering the justice and agricultural development also we can see, because they constructed many lakes for the purpose of agriculture. And not only that, even we can see a work like a carpentry, blacksmith, pottery work, such kind of the occupation also we can observe in a Ganga's period. But you may ask, what was unique in Ganga dynasty, children? In Ganga's dynasty, unique is that they have constructed Chaityalayas, temple, matas, agrahara as a center of our education. Okay, not only one or two, they built many sources in many places for the purpose of acquiring education. That is, as Chaityalaya, temple, matas, agraharas were the center of our education. Along with that, Brahmapuris and Gatikas are higher education center. Brahmapuris and Gatikas are the higher center of our education, like our university nowadays. Then Talakadu, Shravanabelagula, Bankapura, Perur have been named as their learning center. You can see there the expansion of education. To acquire education, you should not go to any one or two particular places. Wherever their dynasty was expanded, there also in every region also they kept educational center to make a people educated. Okay, that was the main contribution of a Ganga. And as we know that these Gangas mainly they were follower of a Jainism children. These Gangas were mainly they were the follower of a Jainism. As a part of that, the ruler like Pujapada, Vajranandi and Ajitasena, they are the follower of a Jainism too. Okay, after one who comes Durvilita, they too are the follower of a Jainism only. And here the Chaundaraya who has built a huge monolithic statue, that was Bahubali statue or the Gommateshwara statue, was insulted a 50 feet monolithic idol Gommateshwara at Shravanabelagala. It was a famous, remarkable one. I'll repeat, 58-foot monolithic idol, as name it as the Gommateshwara at Shravanabelagala, we can see during the time of a Ganga, and that is a main part of a religious center of a Gangas or the Jainist. Okay, then we may also know that the Mahamastakabhisheka for that Gommateshwara idol has take place in every 12 years. Even today we can see that practice. Okay, that was a Mahamastakabhisheka for the monolithic statue of a Gommateshwara. Then a question comes, art and architecture, example for Ganga's art and architecture. Two more question, that is they built Kapileshwara temple at Mane, Pataleshwara temple and Maruleshwara temple at Talakadu, Kolaramma temple at Kolar, then Nagareshwara temple at Begur, and the statue of Gommateshwara at Shravanabelagala are the example for their art and architecture. Then the significant contribution of the Gangas have been the pillar called Manasastamba and Brahmastamba. You may have seen, best example is there in Karkala. Okay, the Karkala Gommata statue you may have seen. There in front of that statue you may have seen the pillar. Upon that pillar one construction was there, that was called Brahmastamba and Manasastamba. Upon that pillar one good construction was there, that you see next time when you goes to Karkala, that was called as a Brahmastamba or Manasastamba. That was new idea of a Gangas. We can say that was their contribution of a Gangas into the field of architecture. Okay, then very important is that the contribution of a Gangas for literature. That was, see, I'll read out. Durvinita wrote Sanskrit work Shabdavatara and translated Gudyana's Vaddakate into Sanskrit. Then Sri Purusha wrote Gajashastra. Then Shivamadava wrote Gajashataka, a Kannada work. Then the poet Hemasena wrote Raghava Pandavijaya. Then Vaibhava Simha wrote Gadya Chintamani and Shastra Chudamani. Whereas Nemachandra wrote Dravyasara Samagraha and Chaundaraya wrote Chaundaraya Purana. These are the literary contribution of a Gangas. Okay, children, see in Ganga literature they have given many examples. In that any four you write and bahad, or which is easy to remember that you bahad, because it is very important question that comes for 2 marks. Suppose if it comes for 3 marks, then you have to write everything. Okay, so in Ganga's part you have to remember a founder, a famous ruler, and their architecture contribution as well as the literary contribution of a Gangas. You have to compulsory you have to read. The 3 dynasties, the Shatavahana, Ganga and the Kadambas are the 3 chapter or the 3 part of a history, that is very easy to remember as well as a recall. Okay, main thing is that day to day lesson children you have to read, and important points in textbook you have to underline. Okay children, I hope you will do and you will follow my instruction, and I will meet you in the class. Till then, take care.